So probably the most annoying thing in the world to me is when a customer leaves a 1-star review and then admits, or even from the outset admits, that you didn't do anything wrong. I'm gonna show you a real review I got this morning. Reviews are public, so I can show you this. Never received, and it wasn't ever delivered to my business. Now, doesn't that sound like, hey, the seller didn't even send it? You guys will remember this order. It was only from a few days ago. It was the coffee cup that I put the white ice cream cone inside of. Of course, I can't show you the tracking number, but you can see delivered. And then there's a whole bunch of tracking updates before that. So what this person actually wrote me was a big rant about how FedEx delivered it to the wrong address. Look, this is real. I hardly ever get bad reviews, and I'm always trying to work it out if something happens. But this person literally said that FedEx delivered it to the wrong address. Now, I showed them, of course, the address they wrote on it, and they were like, yes, that's the correct address. So it really makes you wonder, why do I deserve to be punished? So yeah, this is a little bit of a bad one. You know, these are the big coffee cups. That's a big thing for me. If I can't get this person to change it, I'm gonna write underneath that I have proof that it was delivered and stuff, which I did. And that's probably the best I'm gonna be able to do. Hopefully I can get them to change it. But this is like one of the, I'm just showing you this because this is a real slice of life. We always say this show is about giving you a slice of life of the entrepreneur. It's true. And then you get stuff like this. A customer that admits it was delivered to the wrong address and it's FedEx's fault, and I get the 1-star review. Okay, so I did the thing I'm always doing, which is forgetting that Klein's is basically not open on Saturday. They close like super early or something. This whole review business is thrown off my routine completely. But all that's to say, since we're already out here, we're just going for coffee. Guys, I have a 5-star average rating. Mathematically, what that works out to, for every 1-star review, I have to get, I think it's 34 5-star reviews. That is a very difficult thing to do. I have maintained that rating for something like 4 years. I think there was a moment where I got back down to 4.5 stars briefly, and then it went back up. But yeah, not to pat myself on the back, but over 5,000 reviews, I think it is. It's been a while since I looked. Having over 5,000 reviews and it having a 5-star rating is a very difficult thing to do. So it's a thing I take extremely seriously, and I do whatever I can do within reasonable limits, let's say, to persuade the person to change their review, or at least edit the text so it sounds better, let's say. Now, of course, I'm not trying to get people to lie about things. I mean, honestly, you probably couldn't anyway, but almost everybody that leaves a 1-star review, when you're doing like a good business and a quality product, it is true that almost everybody that leaves a 1-star review is ridiculous. The review from earlier today is a perfect example. FedEx delivered the package. They can see that it was delivered. They delivered it to the wrong address, and they said something like, oh, FedEx is always doing this to us. And then they leave me the 1-star review. I know this sounds crazy, but you can have over 5,000 reviews or whatever I have with a 5-star rating, and there will be people that will see one review that says something like never received item and think you're a scammer. Like, I've gotten messages to this extent before in this kind of scenario, and that they literally think I am running some kind of scam. I know that sounds crazy, but unless you've had like a lot of experience with the general public, some of you in the comments are gonna tell some stories, I'm sure. Like, unless you have a lot of experience with the general public, you don't understand that this is possible. But it's possible. It's very possible. There are people who actually think like that. Now, the best customer I ever had, Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, I'm not trying to give you guys the wrong impression or anything. I mean, the last 1-star review I got was like months ago. I think I did get a bad review like 3 weeks ago, but I got them to change it. So that doesn't count. My rating, 1 star, but Dunkin' didn't do anything wrong. Wow, professional bullfighter. I really want this guy to get out the door, so we are packaging him. The mailman will be coming pretty soon, so let's get him wrapped up. Oh man, I missed him just by a minute. And now it's time to ship the alien can. Time to ship the hat hooks. Yes, that's what these are. So we've got a local guy that's doing a custom order for 400 bucks. We're doing some logos for this guy for his car or something. I kind of didn't really want to do it, but then he offered me a bunch of money. So I said yes. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. Oh man, this guy in South Carolina just messaged me all angry because after 3 weeks, his package is in Oklahoma City for some reason. That's not what the address said. Like basically the post office just sent it to some random place. Really batting 1,000 today. Whatever, let's get this bread. Yeah, so obviously I had to refund that guy. I hate it when the post office does something that's just completely inexplicable. Just holds onto the package for like weeks and then just puts it in a whole nother part of the country for no reason, and then now I have to refund this guy like it's my fault. All right, I'm here at Java Jack's. If you remember the episode where Hackzier showed up and got those things for the charity auction, it's the same place. It's a place that a lot of people in Nacogdoches know of, so we're meeting in the parking lot. I'm here a little bit early, so I'm gonna message him in a few and see where he's at. All right, he says he's ordering me coffee inside, so here we go. Let me look up what this guy's name is real quick. So that was really cool. This guy gave me like a month to do this project, which is a lot more than I need. Very chill guy. Yup, 4 hundo cash. That'll turn your mood around real quick. I know I've said this before, but my strategy of coming out with tons and tons and tons of new products is really working. The week's not even over. I just had like the most profitable week I've ever had outside of Christmas season. Like just a little bit ago, one of those ice cream cones sold. So that's 3 ice cream cones that I've sold so far. The really cool thing about the ice cream cone that sold is they want a special custom coloration. I'm gonna be making the ice cream or whatever it's supposed to be like this different shades of blue and stuff. They kind of described it. It's a little hard to enunciate, but they paid extra for that. So like between all these custom projects and amazing sales, this has been like an incredible week. A week that I just never would have expected to get. I'll put it this way, I could almost afford to take the profits from this week and just buy another load of plastic. It really feels kind of like people are just throwing money at me. This is why I tell you guys all the time, just keep coming out with products. Just keep making stuff. Get regular, get consistent. In your bowels and your products. But seriously, 6 years of experience here, I'm telling you, it works. That thing you don't feel like doing, but you know you should do, that's the thing you need to do. If you consistently do that thing, your life can change. Oh yeah, I guess I should also mention how that guy got a hold of me or knew me. He follows me on Facebook. Just a guy from social media that saw all the crazy stuff that I'm always posting and decided to hand me a bunch of money. It's a good feeling. About to send off this kitty. Time to get the first big alien ready. Man, I just had a wild idea. Let me know in the comments if you would like this. Like I said earlier, I think I have like 5,000 reviews. And while I have a perfect 5-star rating, I do have probably 100 to 150 bad reviews if I had to estimate. What if I did a series where I went through every single one of those bad reviews and talked about it, maybe explained what happened, or just, I mean, I don't even know. I tell a bit of the story behind it. I almost feel like that would encourage people to leave bad reviews, but I might do a couple of them. If enough people comment about it, I would do something along those lines. Ironically, just after I said that, I got a message from the person saying that they found the package and that they're gonna change their review. They haven't done it yet, but just thought I would let you guys know. Yeah, so at a certain point, they weren't responding to my messages, and I just sent like sort of begging, sort of pleading messages. I could like write a book on this, on how to get people to change their reviews, because this is like one of the skills. I'm not saying I have to do it that much, but I am a monster. I'm Genghis Khan when it comes to trying to have good reviews. And there's this last stage where you've tried all the reasonable things. So what you want to do is you don't want to lie, don't do any lying, and don't actually harass them, because that's bad. But you need to do everything you can up to that point. So if you have to, you just get to that stage where you're just a puddle. You're just begging. You are liquid. And so I wrote a message along those lines, and they say they're gonna change the review. Now for context, because this is a negotiation, you need to realize what you're willing to do and what you're unwilling to do. This person's order was like $500. They ordered the coffee cup and the ice cream. So it was very expensive. And in a case like that, it is not worth it to refund them in order to get them to change their review or whatever. Basically, there's no scenario where they ask for a refund where I would actually do it, because that is a lot of money and it's just not worth. I hardly ever get bad reviews, so I'm just not gonna do it. But for me, if it's a fairly cheap item, like 30, 40 bucks, I'm gonna do that every single time if they ask. So even though outwardly, this is like a Sun Tzu Art of War thing, you need to seem like a total biatch to the customer. But inwardly, you have to know where your line is. And $500 order is just not something I'm gonna refund. And whatever the negotiation is, you gotta know what you really are willing to do. And then you have to like be a puddle, like I said. All right, we're about to play the real stuff right here. Yeah! And Socrates wastebasket. And we've got a Ellie boy. And we've got the alien boy, Einstein. So here's something that doesn't happen that often. I kept getting layer shifts on this guy, and it turns out the belt was actually worn out. So we are putting a new belt. Now, one way to do this is you make a little loop like this, and then you zip tie that loop in place, and then you hook the loop around this little guy here. Also, before you do this, this is the tensioner. You want this to be all loosey-goosey before you put the belt on. So yeah, you just loosen these guys up and then push it in. Once you've attached one of the ends, you loop it through all the things, and then we're going to attach the other loop to here. Then we're going to cut off the excess once it's attached. There we go. Now we're just going to tension this up. In case you didn't know, what you do with this is you get some kind of lever or something, and then you press it so that it puts tension pushing out this way. And while you're doing that, you get an Allen wrench and tighten these up. It's a two-handed operation. And there we go. Nice and tight. Now you don't want it to be too tight, but it should be nice and taut, let's say. Taut, but not excruciating. As you can see, we have this week almost put out a new product every day. And in fact, it is Saturday, so I think we're gonna try for a perfect week. This is the copper bar. It was the gold bar, it was the silver bar. It's gonna be the copper bar now. So let's get some pics of this beautiful boy. There we go. And hey, look at this cute boy. He's the Chihuahua Steve Jobs. All right, let's package the orange boy. Checking back on this printer. The ultimate test of fixing a belt, of course, is the print, and it does seem to be printing more or less correct. Well, we got all the worker bees buzzing. All is right in the world, basically, and it's closing time. Well, let's see here. What would I be grateful for today? I guess it's got to be the guy that handed me 400 bucks, because that's pretty cool. It's a really, really good day of sales, even without that. Like I said, this is going to be one of the best weeks of sales I've ever had, and that is very nice. Most overnight successes are 10 years in the making. I actually just did look at the traffic stats for a lot of the big food items and some of the newer stuff. And like, it's not all hits or anything, but collectively, the new items are bringing in traffic. And it doesn't take that many views on Etsy to get more sales. Like, I have items that about every 20 or 30 views I get a sale on. It varies from item to item. Some things get tons of views and don't sell. But, you know, it's like that scene in Cinderella Man, where he's like, I guarantee you, the more you punch this guy in the nose, the slower he's gonna get. It's just one of those things like, listen, even if you're not making as much traction as you want, if you just keep making stuff, keep posting stuff, keep developing products, eventually your sales will go up. As long as you're not posting total trash, at least, which you're probably not. But that's part of the process too. As long as you keep trying to think of interesting ideas and just keep chugging away at it, eventually people will buy it. People will be buying your stuff. It's almost a guarantee. Like, I have items that about every 20 or 30 views I get a sale on. It varies from item to item. Some things get tons of views and don't sell. But, you know, it's like that scene in Cinderella Man, where he's like, I guarantee you, the more you punch this guy in the nose, the slower he's gonna get. It's just one of those things like, listen, even if you're not making as much traction as you want, if you just keep making stuff, keep posting stuff, keep developing products, eventually your sales will go up. As long as you're not posting total trash, at least, which you're probably not. But that's part of the process too. As long as you keep trying to think of interesting ideas and just keep chugging away at it, eventually people will buy it. People will be buying your stuff. It's almost a guarantee. So yeah, feeling very hopeful, very optimistic. I think this year is going to be much bigger than last year. Last year, like, actually one of the reasons I kind of started this video series is because sales had declined kind of a lot. I was thinking maybe I could make some ad revenue. I thought maybe I could advertise something on a YouTube channel if it got successful. And I was also just doing it because I sort of had more free time now. Like, if you watch the first few episodes, I'm flipping items. Part of the reason I got into flipping items, of course, is because sales were not really where they needed to be. But, you know, I just decided I need to get back into making more items, because I'd really not done that. So yeah, that's where the goal board comes from. And I gotta say, the approach has worked. But yada yada yada, let's read some comments. Join the Discord and write something in the comments or questions section if you want to get priority responses. So, and the link is in the description. Ambassador Naranek, of course, says, do you keep copies of the daily episodes in any other form of backup or secondary copy? Would be pretty funny to make a second copy of the episodes on VHS. No, I don't keep backups of the videos at all. Feel free to download them and back it up yourself if you want to just go the extra mile. Internet User 87 on YouTube asks, have you ever tried ordering on AliExpress? I noticed that most products on Amazon these days are just marked up AliExpress products. Yeah, I have ordered a few things. I haven't looked at tape on AliExpress, but I got an amazing deal. Like, I got these rolls for like $1 a piece, and they're like the big 110 yard rolls. So I don't know, I'm pretty happy with that price. Barry Horton says, M3's 3D, you are the big cheese of big cheeses. Thank you. Carrie Martz, I believe this is a new commenter, says, with gratitude, optimism is sustainable. Michael J. Fox. Okay. What's with the life preserver? Well, if you're ready to sustain some optimism, tell me in the comments what you're grateful for. Tell me what small moments of levity you're experiencing. I like to read them. I like to read those comments. I'll give you a heart upvote, and other people might upvote you. You never know. Let me know about what you're enjoying with the episodes, what you want to see more of, etc. I am your humble servant, and I appreciate every single one of you watching. See you on the next episode. Peace.